Anton Castillo is the president of the island of Yara. He actually grew up in the seat of power. So over 50 years ago, his own father was in control of the country. And Anton had to watch his father actually be executed by a revolution that happened on the island. And so that really formed his worldview. It formed how he justifies keeping control on the island. You flash forward 50 years later when he's elected with a stolen election, you get to sort of understand what makes Anton tick. And what's new sort of in this Far Cry is the idea that Anton is not just the dictator, but he also is a father. He has a son named Diego that he is essentially grooming to see his sort of twisted vision through. Anton really is looking for with his son what any father wants from their son. They want their son to be strong, proud, confident, except the context here is that he also wants his son to rule a country the way he would, right? So when you see the trailer, you really get a window into Anton's perspective of parenting. He's passing down these very twisted lessons of how you should control a population. So what you saw in the trailer was really the first of many lessons of how to rule by Anton. Diego Castillo is the son of Anton. He's a 13-year-old teenager trying to sort of figure out his way in the world while also getting these incredibly twisted lessons of how to rule from his father. The idea really was for Diego to be just like any teenager. I think we can all imagine how difficult being a 13-year-old was, figuring out who you are and your place in the world. But now imagine you're doing that while being the son of a dictator. With Diego, we often talked about this idea that he's riding a razor's edge, the idea that you don't really know if he's going to follow in his father's footsteps, and you don't really know if he's going to break free and do his own path, follow his own journey. That conflict, that complexity is really what we're trying to hit with Diego. Dani Rojas was born and raised in the capital city of Esperanza on the island of Yara. Once they get drafted into Anton's plan of forced labor to rebuild paradise, Dani actually tries to flee. And it's only when they come face to face with Anton and Anton's brutality that they get swept up into this guerrilla revolution. So it was really important for us to have someone who was from Yara, is local to Esperanza, in order for you to feel that, guerrilla journey, that they are rooted and have their heart in the movement. The choice of gender with Dani in Far Cry 6 was important to us in the sense that we kept it as a unified experience for Dani. After talking to several members of our team, something that was clearly important was not to try and create two different storylines if you pick male or female. That choice is for you to make, and that journey of Dani will be one and the same. The real-life guerrilla elements that inspired our revolutionary movements in Far Cry 6, I think first and foremost was resolver, the concept of resolver, which means literally to solve or to make do with what you have to survive. And it's a concept that really inspired us. We have a character that is named Juan Cortez, our sort of guerrilla teacher, or guerrilla master, who says that guerrilla resolver is creating chaos with everything you've got.
We have over 100 different weapons, and most of them real-life weapons with real-life attachments too, and some of them that are also resolver, so do-it-yourself. So you can mix and match between real life and do-it-yourself and create the combination that works for you.
That really informed everything from weapons to the guerrilla camps to how they can even strategize and the tools that they would use to inflict chaos against Anton's regime. And that goes all the way down to guerrilla tactics and ambushes and hitting checkpoints and outposts and really using everything at your disposal to take down this overwhelming military force. I think the main influence for Yara began with Cuba. That was our most direct influence. And I think what we really wanted to capture was an island frozen in time, that it had been cut off from the rest of the world for over 50 years after a violent revolution led to a blockade. You're gonna find the classic cars that you get to drive along the coast of Yara and of Esperanza. You'll also find the notion of resolver, to make do with what you have, which means they don't have the resources that other countries might have, and so they find ingenious and creative ways to get what they need. We spoke to a lot of consultants to try and get a wide range of opinions that will root and ground the story to be as authentic as possible. I think players are really going to feel that authenticity and hopefully truth when they play Far Cry 6.